On the fateful night of June 18, 2009, around 9 p.m., Nanbu Yuzo and his sinister crew, including Kazuo Mita, set their gruesome plan into motion. Following their cold-blooded scheme, they snatched Mizumoto from the streets of Tokyo, forcing him into a car, then sped off to a hotel in Funabashi City, Chiba Prefecture. A hotel they had meticulously prepared in advance. The moment Mizumoto arrived, they trapped him, holding him captive in the hotel's dark confines. At around 5 a.m. the next morning, Takakura was dragged into this house of horrors. On June 19th, around 10 a.m., Ishida and Ishion arrived at the hotel, sealing the victim's fate. From the second those two stepped in, the nightmare for Mizumoto and Takakura began to unravel. Ikeda barked orders at Nanbu and the others to bind the hands and feet of Mizumoto and Takakura, leaving them helpless. Then Ikeda made a chilling call to Jinto, awaiting his next deadly command. Jinto instructed Ikeda to hire a hitman to erase both men from existence. But Ikeda had a darker plan brewing. He wanted to kill them himself, to prove his twisted loyalty to Jinto, hoping to earn Jinto's unwavering trust. After hanging up the phone, Ikeda dragged Takakura to the bathroom and shoved him into the bathtub, a makeshift execution chamber. There, Ikeda savagely strangled Takakura until his life slipped away. Emerging from the kill, Ikeda, his face contorted with evil, turned to Mizumoto. "Call your live-in girlfriend. Tell her to bring money to save you, or you'll meet the same fate as Takakura." Mizumoto knew escape from this hell was nearly impossible. He followed Ikeda's orders and called his girlfriend, telling her to bring all his cash, 1.34 million yen, and leave it at the hotel's front desk. But the money did nothing to soften Ikeda's blackened heart. With the cash in hand, Ikeda still planned to slaughter Mizumoto. Mizumoto pleaded, "Please don't take me to the bathroom. I'm terrified of enclosed spaces." Ikeda grabbed the chainsaw from nearby. Mizumoto begged desperately, "Please, not the chainsaw. If you have to, just kill me first." But Ikeda sneered with cruel delight, thinking Mizumoto, a gang member, must be fearless and brave. So he ignored Mizumoto's desperate cries. Mizumoto sensed his end drawing near. He pleaded with Ikeda to let him call his family one last time. But Ikeda turned a deaf ear and swung the roaring chainsaw toward Mizumoto. After the bloodshed, Ikeda and his accomplices dismembered the two bodies. During the ghastly process, Ikeda chillingly remarked, "They look like dolls." Once the horrific deed was done, Ikeda stuffed the body parts into several garbage bags. and loaded them into the car's trunk. Then they drove to Yokohama and dumped the bags into the sea at Kanazawa Ward and in the forests near the base of Mount Fuji. 5 days after the atrocity, on June 24, 2009, a fisherman in Yokohama discovered body parts at Kanazawa Ward's pier, as shown in the film's haunting opening. On July 30, 2009, Ikeda submitted a confession to the police. Admitting his full role in the Yokohama dismemberment nightmare. On October 15, 2009, Ikeda was arrested for corpse abandonment. After his arrest, Ikeda was disturbingly cooperative. He told the police his motives were twofold. First, to extort money from Mizumoto. Second, to earn the trust of Jinto. To secure smuggling rights within the gang. But until his arrest, his ambitions remained unfulfilled. On November 11, 2009, Ikeda was arrested again for robbing Mizumoto's 1.34 million yen and for murder. The case entangled numerous suspects and exposed the dark secrets of gang operations. This allowed the police to crack the largest smuggling case at Haneda Airport since its opening in 1993. A sprawling trafficking operation, Ikeda claimed to regret his monstrous actions, hoping for forgiveness from the victims' families. With Ikeda's confession, several other accomplices were rounded up. But Jinto, tipped off, slipped away before capture, fleeing to Thailand. On December 15, 2009, Jinto was placed on Interpol's International Wanted List. Before this case went to trial, the court tackled the gang's smuggling operation. In a separate hearing, on October 14, 2010, Ikeda was found guilty. The presiding judge declared Ikeda had reaped massive profits from the gang's smuggling activities. As a pivotal figure, he played a critical role in the organization. On November 1, 2010, the first trial for the Yokohama dismemberment case took place at Yokohama District Court. Ikeda admitted to the prosecution's charges. The prosecution argued Ikeda was initially arrested for smuggling, but his confession after arrest came from his realization that his robbery and murders would inevitably come to light. His confession was not sincere. As for his motives, He sought to gain the trust of his boss, Jinto Takaro, to secure greater profits. The defense countered that Ikeda had truthfully revealed everything he knew, helping the police piece together the case's details. Throughout the crime, he was in a subordinate role. The true mastermind was the suspect, Jinto Takaro. Ikeda was merely an enforcer. On November 10th, the police highlighted the crime's depravity and the victim's unimaginable suffering. In their arguments, they stressed the sheer brutality of the methods used. The consequences of killing two people were catastrophic. The victims' families' thirst for justice was overwhelming. The police also emphasized the role of criminal trials in deterring future crimes, noting that leniency would send a dangerous message to society. Finally, the police posed a haunting question to the judge. If a murderer like this doesn't get the death penalty, will the death penalty ever be used again? In their closing statements, the defense argued the suspect's current state should outweigh the malice of the crime. His confession helped the police uncover the full scope of the case. Though guilty, Ikeda faced his crimes and reflected on his actions. His demeanor during the trial showed a dramatic change. If a criminal still has humanity, he should not be executed. On November 16, 2010, at the sentencing hearing, Yokohama District Court sentenced Ikeda to death. The presiding judge stated, Ikeda ignored the victim's pleas for mercy, wielding a chainsaw as his weapon. The murders were grotesquely bizarre, beyond comprehension. Furthermore, Ikeda dismissed the victim's final wish to call their families. This went far beyond mere cruelty. The judge added, the case stemmed from a dispute between the victims and Jinto over the management of a Mahjong parlor, sparking a deadly conflict. To settle the matter, Jinto ordered Ikeda to kill the two victims. That was the motive, and Ikeda, to gain Jinto's trust, mercilessly slaughtered the two men. His actions were utterly selfish, dripping with malice. The shock and grief inflicted on the victims' families were immeasurable. The judge concluded, given the murderer's savage brutality and the calculated nature and devastating consequences, no penalty but the ultimate was fitting. Ikeda was sentenced to death. The judge added, "This is a gravely serious conclusion. If Ika disagreed, he could appeal." After the trial, in a post-sentencing meeting, Ikeda told his defense team he would forgo an appeal. But soon after, he opted to appeal. On June 9, 2011, 9 judges of the Tokyo High Court and 1 alternate judge conducted an inquiry at Yokohama prison regarding Ikeda. After the inquiry, the Tokyo High Court rejected Ikeda's appeal. Ikeda filed another appeal, but withdrew it on June 16, 2011. Ultimately, Ikeda's death sentence was finalized. Accomplice Nanbu Yuzo resided in Zushi, Kanagawa Prefecture, unemployed. On January 17, 2011, Nanbu Yuzo was charged with robbery and murder. During the trial, Nanbu denied the charges of robbery and manslaughter, claiming he had no intent to rob. The presiding judge noted, compared to Ikeda, Nanbu was indeed in a lower position. Ultimately, Nanbu Yuzo was sentenced by Yokohama District Court to 12 years in prison. Yasutake Rihiro served as an advisor in this case. On May 27, 2010, Yokohama District Court sentenced Yasutake Rihiro to 3 years in prison. Additionally, Yasutake was involved in another case. On September 6, 2011, Yasutake Rihiro at Chiba District Court was sentenced to 15 years for gang smuggling and fined 7 million yen. Ishihara Ryuichi, unemployed, resided in Nishiazabu, Minato Ward, Tokyo. On March 11, 2010, Ishihara Ryuichi was charged with confinement and corpse abandonment. Yokohama District Court sentenced him to 2 years and 10 months in prison. This sentence was finalized. Ui Shohei, reinforcement worker, resided in Sujinami Ward, Tokyo. On March 5, 2010, Ui Shohei was sentenced by Yokohama District Court to 2 years in prison for corpse abandonment. Park Ueki, Mita Kyojiro, Ishun Mamono. Their sentencing outcomes were: for corpse abandonment, 3 years in prison, suspended for 5 years. To this day, Ikeda's death sentence remains unexecuted. In prison, during an interview, Ikeda appeared unnervingly calm, as if detached from his heinous crimes. Ikeda's cellmate told the media, "In prison, Ikeda seemed surprisingly approachable. Far from the ruthless monster the public described. He seemed to see through everything, exuding an eerie sense of acceptance." To this day, Ikeda remains locked away at Tokyo Detention Center, awaiting his execution. Meanwhile, Jinto Takaro, an international fugitive, remains on the run.